Well, our next guest is the Chief Financial Officer of Malaysia Airports, which operates Kuala Lumpur International. Faizal Mansor joins us live in Hong Kong, and he's in town for the Invest Malaysia Roadshow. Welcome to the program. I'd like to start out by talking about the future of your airport. You've just completed, I believe, a test landing at the third runway, the new runway.
Yes.
How did that go, and when will we see many planes taking off and landing?
It's a major milestone for us. It's targeted for opening on 2nd May next year. Now, if you look at just some data, statistics for us, we've grown actually year to date about 15%. On average, the industry has only grown about 4 to 5% in terms of passenger growth. And over the last 5-6 years, we've actually grown on average of 9%. And when you compare that to the competitors in the region, it's only been growing about 5 to 6%. So we've actually clearly outpaced our competition in the region. And with KLIA 2, that's what we have been seeing over the last 6 years, this growth coming mainly from the low-cost carrier segment. And this facility was, or the current facility was only doing about 2 million passengers back in 2006. And now suddenly they've grown to 20 million passengers. So we have no choice but to cater for this new growth that we're seeing in this segment.
Let's talk about this, because regular travelers through Kuala Lumpur will know that you have the sparkling main airport and you have a much more economical, low-cost facility some distance from the main terminal. So the new project, what does it mean? Does it connect the two? And do low-cost travelers get a similar experience that they would get in the mainline terminal?
Well, the difficult thing with the current LCCT, of course, when it was built 6 years ago, it was meant to be temporary. It was at a time when new low-cost carriers that were coming up all around the world were having difficulties, and even some went bust. And this was at a time when we decided to bank on this low-cost business model. So why did we do that? I mean, when we look at the US, we looked at in Europe, you've got the Southwesters of the world, and you've got Ryanairs and EasyJets. Even after 20, 30 years, they're still growing their market share. And here we have this new low-cost business model that's just booming. So we decided to bank on this business model, although we were very cautious. So we built a temporary facility for them. And again, suddenly, from overnight, they grew from 2 million to 20 million. So we have to cater for this growth. Because it is a temporary facility, unfortunately, the connectivity to the main terminal is not so smooth. So when we're building for the new one, we had to really make sure that there is going to be a seamless connectivity between the new low-cost carrier terminal and KLIA, the current terminal. So that was a very difficult exercise.
So that means a train between the two.
Yes.
Making it easier. And this reflects, let's talk about the larger trend here, because this reflects the move towards low-cost passengers. AirAsia, of course, is the anchor tenant at that terminal. Yeah. You see other budget airlines from across the Asia-Pacific doing very, very well. What sets you apart from other airports? You know, we talk about Jakarta, for example. Its runway can't handle a fully loaded 777-300 aircraft. What advantages do you have vis-a-vis some of your competitors?
Well, in building this new terminal, again, you will see that the airlines have evolved. You know, even the full service carriers are setting up their low-cost offshoots. So this is to cater specifically for a new market segment. But when you look at airports, most airports have a standardized facility for everyone, whether it's a low-cost carrier or a full service carrier. So what we've done is we've also evolved in trying to cater for these new two market segments, the full service carrier passengers and the low-cost carrier passengers. So in that process, in doing that, and in trying to ensure that there's better connectivity between the two, we've also decided to build a third runway, and we're probably the only Asian or ASEAN airport that has got a third runway. So because that's the biggest challenge for an airport, is to be able to cater for that capacity requirements, because obviously the airlines are growing very fast. 6 years ago, there were probably only 5 low-cost carriers. Now there's probably 50 low-cost carriers. So it's booming.
And it's reflected in the latest Skytrax numbers, I believe. I want to bring up a graphic here, because Skytrax out with its list of world's best airports, and your airport, the Kuala Lumpur International, has done quite well. Changi Airport there in the first place position. Incheon and Seoul second, Amsterdam Schiphol third, Hong Kong fourth, Beijing Capital fifth. Let's talk about where you come in, where the low-cost rankings put you, because in the best low-cost airport, you've done quite well. You come in on that list at position, I believe, position number 5. Yeah, the LCCT. What do you make of this?
Well, first and foremost, I'm proud to say that in 05, 06, 07, we were able to be number 1 within our category. And during that time, we even managed to beat Changi and Hong Kong. Unfortunately, suddenly when the low-cost carrier terminal came in, which was a more basic facility, our service level came down. So we are hoping when the Kalai 2 comes up, which is a much newer facility, a much more nice and very convenient, very comfortable for passengers. We hope our service level will come up again, and hopefully we'll be able to compete better with the likes of Changi's, Incheon's and Hong Kong's.
And you got space for 2 more runways, I understand.
Yes. We've got space for 2 more runways. The current capacity, again, when we expand for 45 million passengers, you're looking at 70 million passenger in total for KLIA. We're going to do about maybe 46 million passengers this year. So again, catering for that requirement for the capacity growth within this region.
We'll be watching it closely and perhaps landing and taking off there soon. Faizal Mansor, we appreciate your time. He's the CFO of Malaysia Airports, joining us live and exclusively today.